but I have more energy after I work out than when I do not, because I've trained my body to use just an energy source of going in and out of ketosis. Because as you know, but many people might not, I did the keto diet for a year straight, honestly, just very disciplined. So like I could eat a lot of carbs and I could eat no carbs when I do obviously the fasting, and I'll just go in and out of ketosis. Like my body is just very adaptable to it.
Hey y'all, D Foss here with the LT360 podcast. My goal is to connect you with the very people that are going to make you understand how and why to create a limitless lifestyle on a day-to-day basis. And don't forget to check out and learn more about the 2020 New Decade New Challenge brought to you by Limitless Nutrition. So my guest today is a former collegiate athlete, someone I went to school with at LaSalle, another laser, and someone who is really challenging himself and challenging other people to not just live by the norm. Someone that is really pushing me and making sure that I hold myself accountable, even from a distance. It's not that we chat all the time, but it's someone that I'm always looking out with, seeing what he's doing and seeing how he's going about life, because I know there's always more to push and he's always pushing for that extra. So everyone, welcome my guest, the one and only Panther.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy to be here. Like I said, everything's limitless, so I try to fit the same standard to it, the things I try to achieve with myself. So I'm real happy to be here. It's a privilege.
Yeah. I'm glad you are. I'm glad we got to finally link up and do this. Um, Now you said you got a workout in earlier today, so I kind of want to start there. What'd you get in your workout? What was today's focus?
Yeah, so I did pull, and I've been doing things like a little bit differently, going against the grain. So obviously, like I am really big into fasted, and everything is fasted training. So generally, I wait till about 16 hours into my fast, anywhere longer than that as well. And I try to do obviously either push, pull, or legs. So
Okay.
today, I really focus on back. Went to Planet Fitness, which obviously people say you can't really work out there if you want to be serious about your training, but you can work out anywhere and really make the most of the training and maximize your efforts, you know? So I really focus on more or less rows. So I like doing things on the Smith machine where I do like a single arm row. Just on one end, I put the weights on it. If you want to visualize that, I really just try to focus on the full extension and really getting that pull into the lat. So that's really what I focused on. And I mix a little bit of legs in all my days of training, just because obviously, as you know, that obviously helps your testosterone become released and all that other good stuff as well. And it just keeps you really lean and just, for me, I like my lower body to be stronger than my upper body as it should be. So yeah, that's most what I focus on today.
That's that sprinter in you.
Natural sprinter, exactly, yes sir.
So, so you split 3 days a week. You're doing push pull legs. Are you only working out 3 days a week, or are you going in every single day and
It's crazy.
you're going push pull legs 2 times each and just going on a 7-day rotation?
Yeah, so honestly, I don't really take any rest days like where I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know if it is due to the fasting has like the anti-inflammation property, but like I've worked out every day for a month. I feel great. My energy is still the same. My muscles are never super tired because I'm not really pushing to my limit every single day. 2 days a week, I really, like I said, maximize my efforts and go for a PR.
Yeah,
And like I said, I'm consistently losing weight, getting leaner, and getting stronger. So
yeah.
I really go off of what the results show, if you want to call it that.
That's what's up. You put on a crap load of muscle in the last what, like 2-3 months, you said?
Yeah, like 30 pounds. And like I said, it's strictly me eating more because, like I said, I have a 30-minute to a 1 hour eating window every single day because I do like a 23-hour fast period. So, like I said, I work out 16 hours in. I have a full-time accounting job. So I'm a senior accountant. And people who always want to use the I don't have enough time, I can't work out, that's bullshit. Like, I really don't take that as anything serious. I take it as an excuse.
Yeah.
So every day I wake up early, you know what I mean? And I start doing the things that you taught me that one time we trained in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So I always had like tight psoas muscles and just a lot of hip impingements. So
Mm-hmm.
every morning I wake up and I try to focus on obviously the breathing. I know the hamstrings is what you told me I really had to work on because they're weak that time. So
Yeah.
just like maximizing all the things that I know will get tight for me sitting down for 8 hours plus a day. So that's what I do, and I break my days up in halves. So from 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock. Obviously, I'm working on my computer. My
Yeah.
1 hour lunch break, I go to the gym. That luckily enough for me is only it's like 8 minutes away. I
Okay.
go there around, like I said, 18 hours of my fasting window. I break I guess you could say my regimen up into different parts because I only have a limited amount of time. So I can't get the full hour. So I do 30 minutes of training only. Where before I was training for 2 hours, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Like
I
just the
remember
results that I'm saying.
I remember you were telling me
It's
that.
just,
Yeah, and you were like, "Yeah, bro, I'm usually in the gym for like 2 hours," and I was like, "Oh, geez, that's a long
yeah,
time." That catches up
a
to you.
long time.
Yeah, that catches up to you. And now you're kind of seeing the benefit of that, right? Like let's go hard for a half hour, and now
Hmm.
tomorrow I can get back in and go hard for another half hour. Like, right, you don't feel like you have to rest for 3 days because you hit every single muscle from every single angle for mad 2 hours for mad long in the gym. So I get now it's starting to make sense on how these things are playing out for you and the rest with the fasting. That's
Exactly, yeah.
so
But you
now
said it best, yeah.
so now you get a half hour lift in at lunch, and now you shower and go back to work.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I stretch for I always at least leave 10 minutes to shower. So
Okay.
I like I said, I break it down into increments, like I said, 30 minutes of training, 10 minutes of stretching, a quick 10 minute shower, and right back to work. I get there within the hour. So go right back to obviously doing more of my daily tasks at the job. But I
Hmm.
have more energy after I work out than when I do not because I've trained my body to use just an energy source of going in and out of ketosis. Because as you know, but many people might not, I did the keto diet for a year straight, honestly, just very disciplined. So like I could eat a lot of carbs and I could eat no carbs when I do obviously the fasting and I'll just go in and out of ketosis. Like my body is just very adaptable to it. I
Yeah.
don't get tired throughout the day. Like I know how to use both energy sources essentially. So that's one thing I used to have a phobia of was the whole I can't eat carbs because I'm gonna get fat and I'm still working out all the time. Like that doesn't make any sense. The body's biology is not for that. It's not gonna happen. So
I like that you and what most people don't have a grasp on is you said you're adapted to using both energy systems, and that is strictly all it is. It's training
mhm,
your nervous system and training your body to realize that when you are in a fasted state or you are in a state of low blood glucose, what do I do now? How
mhm,
do I transition and go back and forth from one to the next? And that's something that, like, I would say over the last like year and a half, and you also kind of helped me with this with the fasting, because I think you got into it way before I did. Was just making some of those things like become apparent to me. Like it's not about fasting every day for your entire life or eating strictly keto and eating for the entire day or not eating carbs or eating tons of carbs and eating throughout the day to keep your blood glucose high. Like there's so many different things that people throw out there, but the underlying tone of all of them is how can I use my blood glucose and how use that energy system and how can I use ketones, how can I use ketosis to my advantage and being able to flow back and forth. Like
mhm.
that adaptability and that word specifically is huge. I'm glad you pointed that out. Super glad.
Yeah. So you said it best. Yeah, just adaptability. So
Hmm.
that's one of the main things I really try to focus on and eating very flexibly. That's another thing now.
Yeah.
Where if you see some of my stories, I eat like 4,000 calories. I eat a lot, but it's not like I said restricted. I eat whatever I want. I've been actually indulging on more sweets where I used to never, and I just feel happier. You know what I mean? Like you said, the whole nervous system thing where I don't restrict anything. If I crave it that day, I'm gonna eat it. I just make it work within my macros.
Yeah.
So I
What
just focus on one macro that I focus on is protein. That's all.
okay. What's your are you taking in a gram per pound, a body weight? How are you breaking it down?
Yeah, so I do 1.5 grams per pound. So
Okay.
generally, like I said, this is about 300 grams of protein. I'm about 200 pounds right now. So some days I get 350. Other days, like I said, 300 is what I have enough, capacity in my stomach to ingest.
Yo,
protein's
so
heavy. So
for me, I have trouble um, with like even if I go down to like a 6 hour eating window,
hmm
I try to eat the amount of calories that would be sufficient for me, which is probably around like 3,000. Um,
hmm
I feel just stuffed. Like I feel after I eat, my stomach feels. I get that like lethargicness because
yeah.
I feel so full that I just feel like I just kind of want to lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah, it's like after a Thanksgiving meal. That's kind of
Yeah,
how you feel, right? Yeah.
yeah. It's like that L-tryptophan feel, just like I want to go to sleep.
hmm
So is I know you obviously you're doing things after you break your fast at 5 o'clock. Like what? How does that play into it? Like you're eating 4,000 calories. You may be eating 3, 4, 5 plates of food. Do you get any of that afterwards? Do you feel like I just kind of want to sit, or do you just all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm charged up and ready to go? How does that
That's it. I'm charged up, ready to go. Like
Damn.
I think I just train. I'm telling you, I think I just train my body because I've been doing this for like a year. It's like by the end of the day, because like I said, I worked out, 6 hours prior.
Mhm.
At the end of that peak, I begin to go down like, man, I'm craving food. Like I need energy. So when I see food and I line it all up, I just go. I line everything up so it's not stop, eat. It's just I eat. And by then I'm just like, you could feel the energy, rolling through your body.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
my glucose stores after 23 hours and working out within that period and then not eating right after, it's completely empty.
No,
So you feel the energy coursing through your body essentially. Like I feel alive and I just feel more mental acuity and focus. Like once after I break my fast, and it's amazing. Like
that's crazy. That's so dope.
yeah,
um,
it's weird.
Now, after you're working out, like a lot of people say, like, yeah, I do intermittent fasting, but like during that 16-hour fast, they drink coffee, they take ketones, they will try like different supplements, or they'll add juices, or they'll drink tea. Like what a lot of those things actually break your fast. A lot of those things aren't true fasting,
hmm
but a lot of them also work. A lot of them are just true, fat molecules and triglycerides, and they're not damaging your blood glucose. They're not releasing insulin or going through your liver at all. So, is there anything that you do, or is it strictly water for 23 hours?
Yeah, just strictly water. And like I told you, I do. I would say every now and then, just coffee, black coffee, straight, just for I know it's autophagic. They did like studies on mice that I read about, and pretty much when you have black coffee, it just helps your body to break down fat oxidation as well because the caffeine in it. So I only use it, like I said, very so often, maybe once a month. And yeah, anything that's like minimal to, I guess you could say, hardly no calories, it still will break it fast. Because I
Yeah,
like to just keep it strictly just water. But a lot of people, they still can get the benefits if they do the ketones and your main, I guess you could say, objective is just for fat loss. You will lose fat doing that, but mine is for health and longevity. So,
the autophagy aspect is lost when you create any sort of blood
hmm
glucose spike or insulin release. So
yeah.
that's where a lot of people like, yeah, they may be getting the exterior, superficial benefits of
hmm
an intermittent fast, but on the inside, those are still the people that are, they're not necessarily killing all of the negative, bad cells that are naturally just, coming up in as a result of their lifestyle or lack of sleep or work or stress or whatever it may be. Maybe it's the crappy foods that they eat. Like you still have a very good like keen sense on. I mean, you're taking in vegetables. You're taking in a good source of fats. You're working all of those things in. But like you said, you've gotten to the point where you're like, if I want to have something, like I'm gonna have it, and that's good.
hmm
That's huge. That's huge. Do you are you using any um, like protein powders or aminos or anything like that?
Yeah, so not really aminos, but I use protein powders. Just the basic ones from like CVS. Like I said, I don't really go over the top crazy over which ones I get. I just, if I need it, I use it. and
Okay.
everything. Like I say, only thing I track is just my protein.
Yeah.
So my fats and my carbs, I go crazy with it, copious amounts.
Yeah.
But I don't really track anything in that particular macro kind of category. I just kind of go with what I feel I want to eat that day. So yesterday, for instance, I had a pizza party at work, but I just took like eight home. I took home eight slices, put it
Mhm.
in like a few plates, and just waited. So I killed those. Had a nice big protein shake with just water, just mix it up and drink it. And then I had Chipotle, like a nice Chipotle bowl with chicken and steak. So I felt amazing today during my workout just because, like I said, I just use it for fuel.
Yeah.
Whereas when I started the keto and the fasting, you feel like a zombie essentially, like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that keto flu is real. That'll take
Yeah,
you
it is.
out. Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just getting a lot of craze because it's like we're talking about superficially, it provides a lot of results,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not necessarily, benefiting anyone's mental health or cellular mitochondrial health or things like that.
Yeah.
Stuff to get in depth with. But um now in terms of your actual training, um is it like super high intensity? Is it mostly body weight? Is it a lot of weighted like compound movements? Are you following like CrossFit style? Are you following typical bodybuilding, functional fitness? Like what is it for the workouts? What are we getting into?
Mm-hmm. It's typically bodybuilding standard, but I do lots of reps. So I try to lift the most I can, but I do it for 20 times. For instance, if I'm going to be doing like a dumbbell press, I'll do
Mhm.
like 100 pounds, but I'll go for 20 reps. Like it's not like, oh, let's do 5 reps and put it down. Like I'm taxed after each set, and I do very, very, very short rests. So I take 30 seconds to a minute rest, and then I get to the next one, next set.
Dope.
Obviously, less weight, but I just keep getting after, I guess you could say. Like, so it's almost high intensity, essentially. Yeah.
Okay. So is it are you supersetting exercises? Are you doing like biplexes or triplexes? Are you doing like one exercise at a time, or are you integrating like two or three, maybe a reverse lunge while you're resting from your dumbbell shoulder press and like a core exercise, or is it just like dumbbell shoulder press and tricep extensions and then back to dumbbell shoulder press? Like how does that kind of pan out and look?
Yeah. So, like I said, I do push pull legs every single day in that same cycle
Okay.
repetitively. But let's say my first push pull leg cycle, I won't do any supersets. My second one is strictly all supersets. So let's say, for instance, I'll do I love push-ups as well. So
Mm.
I like actually maximizing my body weight efforts and exercises like that. So I'll do like a dumbbell press right into strictly like 10 push-ups.
Gotcha.
And then I'll do it again in 10 push-ups and again in 10 push-ups. I go to my next workout and I'll do, let's say, for instance, a floor press. And I strictly just do push-ups that day when it's push.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then if I'm doing my pull day, I do rows and I'll do pull-ups. So I try to structure the body with exercises that are going to maximize those muscles compared to what workouts I'm doing that day.
Yep.
So if I'm doing leg days, I'll do some heavy squats and I'll go into a wall sit.
Yep.
I'll do, I guess you could say, good mornings, and then I'll do like body weight single leg RDLs. It's just like just maximize my efforts depending on the day because it's not every day I do supersets though.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That's dope. I like that. I used to do a lot of that with hit that like typical bodybuilding compound movement and then get into basically the body weight equivalent of it to
Uh
really
huh.
tax it out. Yeah. I used to do a lot of that. I got to get back on a regular training regimen. I've been hiatus on a regimen. I've just been
Yeah. So what do you mostly do though?
right now it's typically group classes, to be honest with you, at the new gym that I'm working at. But outside of that, I'm always just like very conscientious of like I feel kind of stiff, like let's do some mobility.
Mm-hmm.
I've even gotten away from like my morning routine of stretching or abs. I used to go back and forth. I would wake up 4:30 or 5, and I would do like 10 to 15 minutes of either stretching and like mobility, or an ab workout. And then I would go shower and then head to work or go train clients or whatever. But it's been really just like anything and everything. If I have time, I'm just gonna get after something. I don't really have a, a keen sense of like I'm gonna do this or do that. I know like, oh, yesterday I maybe got some like push-ups and dumbbell presses in, or a little bit of chest work. Like let me hit some pull-ups or something today, or maybe do some abs. I really am going off of how I feel.
Yeah.
It's not ever really structured. And I even with my clients, it's very much the same way. Like a lot of people write programs for their clients, and then they come in and they did a workout. If I train someone 3 days a week, 4 days a week, they're not with me, and I don't know what's going on. They may have not slept last night, and now
Hmm.
on our program it says that they're supposed to like do this specific exercise today. If that's not going to benefit them that day, then I'm just not going to, it doesn't make sense to follow that. So for my clients, I'm very much the same way. It's like, hey, how are you feeling today? How did that last workout treat you? All right, this is what I think we should get into today. And
Okay.
I'm very much the same way with myself. Like, wake up, how do I feel? All right, let me maximize, my feelings today, my kind of inner self-awareness, and see what's going to, benefit me the most. Mostly, like I said, body weight stuff is my thing, for sure. But it's I'm just really, for the last probably like 6 to 8 months, was really just like maintenance. I didn't do anything over the top whatsoever.
Yeah.
um, I think now moving forward, it's going to be much more of a like upper lower split.
Hmm.
And I also want to start working yoga and basketball into my regimen. So ideally, I would do an upper day, a lower day, basketball, yoga, and if I'm feeling really good that week,
Hmm.
I'll do an upper lower.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And get two uppers, two lowers, and a basketball and a yoga day. I'm also big on things like swimming. Like down here, year round, I can go to the beach. I can go surfing. Like I'm very much just holistic movement. If I'm burning calories, if I'm doing something active and it's making me feel better, I'm about it. Um,
Yeah.
I would say that's kind of where my head's been at recently. Things go in and out. You've seen me getting into like maces and kettlebells and
Hmm.
things like that. So I'm just trying to find what I feel like works best for me, but also just not trying to limit myself. So I think that's just kind of how I go about it. Feel what I feel that day, and with my schedule changing so much the last couple months, I haven't prioritized that as much as possible. So it's kind of been wherever I can get it in, I get it in. Um, and that's a big shout out to you in terms of like I'm gonna wake up at this time and I'm gonna do it. At this
Hmm.
time, I have a lunch break every single day. I'm gonna utilize that lunch break to go get my work in. I see that stuff, I watch that stuff, and that makes me like, damn, I have a half hour. What's my excuse? Let's go do it.
Hmm.
That's kind of a big reason I wanted you on here was just I think that mindset in particular lacks that ability for people to just get rid of excuses. The I can't, I wish, I can't wait for those things. Just the way we talk, the way we kind of go about our days is just so lackluster. Like we're wasting time. So many people waste time. I
Hmm.
mean, think about how many people in your job probably have that hour, and what do? Like probably go watch something on their phone for 20 minutes, go take a crap for 10, you know,
Hmm.
eat an unnecessary food and have a negative conversation, and then they go back to work and they don't feel any better. They didn't
At
do
all.
anything productive. If anything, they continued to sit down. Um, I think all that kind of just like you said, over time, that stuff plays out. That stuff plays out like crazy.
Yeah.
What time are you waking up on a daily basis?
So I generally wake up at about like 5:30, but it's naturally, it's not like I set an alarm clock. I just notice I don't really try to fight against it. So usually I'd wake up at like 5:30 and then try to set a timer, go to sleep. And I just sit there, rest asleep with my eyes closed, but I know I am not like consciously sleeping. So that point, I just get up and, like I said, begin to incorporate some of the stretches and just things to make sure my body is limber just for the work day. So I know I'm gonna get tight muscles. Like when you're sitting all day, it's bound to happen. So I really just try to make my routines just combat what I know sitting down all day is going to produce. So that's like essentially what I've been trying to do first thing in the morning. I said I'm very spiritual as well. So I like to pray to inner being, I guess you could call it that, just asking very simple things, just watch over me. Thank you for waking me up. And then I go about my routine. So yeah.
In a sense, you start your day with gratefulness, right? Like you wake up and thank, like, I'm glad I got to wake up today. And
Yeah,
that in and of itself changes your entire mindset for the day. I love that.
it does. And it's so simple, but
Yeah.
people don't understand it's powerful because they go through it in emotion like, oh, I'm thankful for being up. Fuck, now I gotta go to work. No, no, no. Like do it every day continuously, and then you start to realize it's like you get to wake up and go to a job and make money where you could drive by 100 homeless people on your way to work. You know what I mean? But you don't take it for granted. You take it for granted. Like you drive by like, damn, I'm going to work, and there's somebody outside begging for money, cold and hungry. It's like you gotta be appreciative.
Yo, 100%. And what's even crazier than that, and we live in America, right? Like, those homeless people have it better than not still like 80% of the rest of the world does. Like
Yeah.
those people without homes, without food, with cardboard, they are living a better life than 80% of the people that are still out there. So, who are we to complain that we woke up in a bed nice and warm
Mm-hmm.
and had food in the fridge and lights to turn on and, good health?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, like, it just people's lackluster ability to take perspective. That's why I think experience is, it speaks bounds. It does more for people than anything. If you go to those places and you see those things, or if you just expose yourself to these kinds of conversations, that's what a lot of people don't want to do. Like, ignorance is bliss, right?
Absolutely.
Crazy. I don't know. And that's a big reason I started this, was just like, there's so many people out there that have stories to tell. There's so many people that have positive outlooks. And then there's people out there looking for a reason to be happier, to try to find that inner, self, that inner love, that ability to just not take things for granted, actually look forward to what they have to do, but they just don't know where to look. They don't know who to find it from, or they do see the people that have that as the flashy people, the people that
Mm-hmm.
have big names, big cars, big houses, and all that stuff. Like, it's too much. That's not realistic for me. But there's plenty of regular ass people that that have a positive outlook. What in terms of, you say you're waking up at like 5:30, and I remember talking to you before, and you were saying you got like this ridiculous amount of sleep, in terms of not a lot at all. What
Mm-hmm.
has that changed? How often do you sleep? Do you feel like you have to sleep as much with all this fasting that you do?
Mm-hmm. So I've been actually like a lot better about tracking my sleep and trying to get optimal levels at least 8 to 9 hours. So I have been like 10 times better since like the last time we had that conversation.
Okay.
So I do some other things too. So like I practice like semen retention. That's another thing I've been practicing. Like it sounds crazy that like a lot of guys don't want to talk about it, but it's so beneficial to just you being a man and just honestly captivating and utilizing your life force. So I go months sometimes without ejaculating, and sometimes my sleep is 3 hours because I just can't sleep because we're made to procreate and obviously reproduce. So while I'm trying to sleep, my mind is trying to tell me to, you have to go out there and reproduce, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes 3, 4 hours, but I wake up the next day wide awake still because your body is so honestly in tune and it's so advanced that we don't really give it enough credit. Like your body will make sure you have the energy that is needed for you to do what it is initially created to do, essentially, you know? So I'm always, like I said, just on go, if you want to say revved up, and it's just very natural. And like the name of your show, it's limitless. Like
Mm.
I have limitless energy, I would say, throughout the day, just because to me, I would say the semen retention just was a very big thing I incorporated into my life and just my lifestyle. So
How long ago did you incorporate that?
I've always done it on and off, but recently I've gone, the most I did was like 2 months, and it just was a lot of flat lines, obviously, because like everything has a high and a low, essentially.
Yes.
So everything they say you should do in balance and in moderation, yeah, just like that, yeah. So you flatline obviously after a while, just because your body does not know what to do with the energy, and after 7 days, your testosterone actually naturally spikes 145%. So it's almost like you're waiting for that seventh day, essentially, where
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some days I feel like shit, and I'm just like, all right, well, I know if today is, let's say, Wednesday, I know in 4 days I'm gonna have a huge spike of energy. So it's all mental battle. Like, why would I really back in and go release for something I said I'm gonna make a commitment not to do when I know in 4 days it's gonna be better? So all these things, like I say, I also make applicable to life. It's like if I feel down today, I know I won't feel down a month from now or
Mhm.
2 months from now. Like it's just everything has a time and an expiration date. So
True.
that's why I do all these things, just because I know how much it will help me in life when like it's a stressor, but it's a very positive stressor.
Yeah, it's a stressor that allows you to build inner discipline and that ability to actually hold yourself accountable to something. And
Uh-huh.
it may feel good to get that release, but
Mm-hmm.
in a week and a half, or sorry, at the end of that 7 days, it's gonna
Yeah.
feel even better that you stayed committed to what you said you were going to do. Like so many people talk about, making promises to other people and not, oh, I don't like to make promises I don't keep, talking about making promises to other people, but so many people said, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and they don't follow
Yeah.
through on any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we're all, we all do it, right? It happens. But some of us, like yourself, are way more in tune with that and see that as an opportunity to take your mental capacity to a whole different level. So that's really interesting. I like how you've tied that into your life as well. I think that's something that a lot of a lot of people would benefit from if they. It's hard to get that kind of like knowledge and science out there though. Like not a lot of people really understand that kind of stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and they also don't really want to accept that as a truth.
They do not, yeah, because it feels good. It's
Yeah.
short and easy gratification, yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's something I got to be better at, without a
Mm-hmm.
doubt. That's something that I've actually, like, in 2020 made a note to myself to do you do like New Year's resolutions?
Um, I used to, but I really just stopped doing it because in my eyes, every week is a new resolution, essentially. Like I don't wait for the New Year's. Like every week I incorporate something that is more difficult, new, but it's challenging. Like I do cool shot. I don't know. I just do so many things that
It's the
I
little
love
stuff.
challenging myself. Yeah, it's just like a part of me, And I
Yeah.
take it for granted where to me it's so natural and normal. But when I talk to other people and then I grab something that they do and I tell them something I do, you see that inner exchange of it's just like, damn, you do that. Like it's respect essentially, So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all this stuff to me is normal. And I come from like, I say humble beginnings where like, it's crazy when I really look back and I reflect how I used to be the complete
Yeah.
180-degree different person,
I'm
like,
glad you brought this up. So let everybody know what, how you used to live, how you used to look, how you used to walk around.
hmm. So Wow. So I guess you could say my whole life I've been always chubby and I've been out of shape, never wanted to run. My father, like a little bit of short background, he used to be a Jamaican Olympian runner. So I have very good genes just for just athleticism, just out of this world. Always came naturally. Never utilized it. I remember growing up in Connecticut in Bridgeport, he'd always want to like go to the corner store, but he'd want to jog there early in the morning at 6. Where that's all I wake up now at 6 in the morning. I looked at him crazy. I remember like only 2 times I said I'm not doing that. So we made a deal. Like if you go there, I get you pizza at night. I walked the whole way there and back, and I felt okay with it.
Yeah.
Completely okay. I didn't care. Like he was like, come on, trying to push me. And I just took it for granted that somebody who really cared for me and wanted what was best for me just to learn the things I learned now, just to like challenge yourself, just to see if you could do it. Like what's the worst that could happen?
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I was chubby, a lineman and defensive lineman as well in high school, a freshman year, football. Come sophomore year, I had a growth spurt. I went from 5'8" to around where I still stand today, around 6 feet, and I lost all my weight. So I went from like 5'8", 200 to around 6 feet, 132 pounds. So it's crazy. Like I was so skinny. Like looking back at pictures, I just laugh because I'm like, when you're living in that, obviously in the past in that time frame, like you look in the mirror, you think you're big. I can't explain it. Like because you're living in it in the moment, you don't really notice like how insignificant and how much potential you will eventually attain, obviously, when you look back in life. So I was 138 pounds, and I was almost lucky enough for some of the people who came into my life. Like one of my good friends to this day, his name's like Alan. So Alan Bonilla, he got me in the weight room. Like I didn't have a car, obviously, because I was young. He picked me up every day, and he, to me, is what really spiked the workout bug, the contagious efforts to always get better. Because I saw him and I saw the growth. He was the first person I saw do like 30 push-ups as like a senior in high school. Like things like that, people didn't really maximize. He was just very athletic on my track team as well. And I saw him as obviously older brotherly figure and somebody who I really looked up to. So him just showing me love enough to, like I said, pick me up every day and just show me the ropes. I didn't know how to work out. I did not know any of those things. So I never took it for granted. So every time I went to the gym, I would try to maximize just the time spent with them because it's company with somebody I respect. And just really working out and trying to maximize my benefits. So I went from 138 in a year to around like 180. It was crazy. So I put on like 50 pounds of muscle. Yeah, like it was just being in a year, just consistent. But I still was skinny. Like I wasn't anywhere to where I currently am now, where I still was running a lot. So I was overtraining. So I was running, most days, 8 miles, I would say, give or take. But I love video games. That's another thing that people don't know about me. I used to like skip workouts to play video games. Like my family would go out for outings for dinner. I'd say no, thank you to play video games. I have ADD, so I would like take a Vyvanse in the morning on Saturday, and I'll play video games all day, like until 4 or 5 in the morning. Wake up at 7, do the same thing again every day. And like I said, it's these things that you don't really like reflect on a lot, so you forget about it. But like that's my truth. I lived it. I just don't think about it every day.
Oh, hold on. What video games?
Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Vegas. It was just like so many random games with Xbox 360, and like I was glued to the screen, like to the point where I was even sponsored by Monster at one point because like
What?
I was so good. Like I was so good. Like I just would skip school, skip practice some days, and just sit there and just play video games. If I said I'm gonna run, I made a commitment. That's another thing. I would always make commitments to myself. Like, wow, this is the summer. I'm gonna maximize my potential. Next year, I'm getting after it. The whole entire summer, I would just sit on a video game until the last week before like tryouts and stuff. But I would always I'm talented. I have good genes. Like I have very good genes, so I catch up to the pack. And speed a few years. Like I said, I went to college. Obviously, didn't even maximize the potential because I got in trouble. I was following the wrong people. No, I don't say I was just following what I thought was not following anybody, just following what I thought was what I wanted to do for myself. So smoking, drinking, which I still drink every now and then, but like I don't smoke as often anymore. And just being very reckless and crazy, essentially, like trying to live the college lifestyle to the fullest. But
I can definitely attest. I saw you do
Yeah,
some crazy stuff there.
crazy stuff, just gone, like always just
But that
gone, and
was,
like
I mean, we all did that.
we all did,
We
yeah.
all did that for sure.
You have to
But
live it to learn it. One of those things too, you
yeah,
know. So
yeah.
yeah,
I didn't did you drink or smoke while you were in high school?
no, never.
Yeah.
So against it.
So it's yeah, me too. So it
Me
started
too.
for you in college, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
freshman year, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I was just known for like blacking out and throwing up because like I was like, well, it's Thursday, so everybody's drinking. Hop on the bandwagon and drink too. But
Bro, that's crazy. We both went through the same thing. Got to college and just went like ham for 3, 4 years, and then
yeah,
now we're
pit
both
stop.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just natural, like we never lived it. Like we went there throwing up and blacking out. Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, after so where did because like when I met you at LaSalle,
hmm
you definitely weren't like skinny. You definitely had a build to you. When
hmm
you said you were probably what were you weighing at that time? You were at like 180. You said what by like junior or senior year of high school. So you just kind
Yeah.
of maintain that?
Just maintained it, and actually, I put on size my freshman year working out Pat Sponzo.
Yep.
You know him, so
Yep.
both came in super skinny because we were both like cross country and track and field runners.
Mhm.
But preseason of cross country freshman year, like cross country runners, as you know, I won't say they're weird, they're unique and different. So like he was somebody who I could like relate to just because he also was from Connecticut,
Yep.
which just happened to work out. And I don't want to say the term normal, but he just was somebody who I could like really connect with, you know? Like we just had a nice little click and bond to this day still. So we both started working out every day and just like slowly but surely we just started seeing like our shirts filling out. You know, like when you obviously start reaching the levels like your shirt starts filling out,
Mhm.
people say give you compliments like, oh, I don't know what you're doing, like this is getting crazy. And I really got into working out like very, very serious. Also my freshman year. So I never really knew, I guess you could say, some reason because my counselor at college, they didn't tell me you had to have 5 classes. So I dropped one class, I did 4, and I became ineligible for track one of those seasons. So I stopped running because I was mad. So I stopped running and I strictly just lifted. And that's when I just blew up. So I went home for like Christmas break, but because I just was going through the motions, I didn't really see the results. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
went home and all my friends were like, yo, what happened? You know, they were like, you got massive. I started looking in the mirror. I'm like, I kind of did put on some size, but I still weighed the same. It's just the same thing. Like my body was absorbing more of the muscle and it wasn't just burning through muscle.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I was more solid, but I was just starting to become more compact, more filled out. Still eating the same foods, nothing really too different. Just my body was actually building muscle instead of burning muscle. That's all that really came down to it. So I wasn't running as crazy, or I should have been eating, I would say 5,000 calories just to, I guess you could say, maintain muscle. But I was running so much, you know, and just drinking a lot. Because like I said, I would go to bed some nights at like 6 in the morning, wake up the next morning on Sunday, and I would run with the team 10 miles because we do a long day. And it's just like, after a while, I was like, what am I doing? Like, it's just painful. Like, I'm mad. I'm mad at the coach, like, why we have early morning practice. I'm like, he didn't tell me to go out there and do all these things. You know, I just be mad at practice, like laying down like this, just waiting to go run, just get over with. I'm like, how long are we running today? He's like 10 miles. I'm just mad in my head. I'm like, why are we doing 10 miles? It's so stupid. Why am I here? It's like, you decided to be here. No one told you to come here. No one said join the team.
And
Like,
no one said go out the night before.
yeah,
Well, a lot of people told you to probably go out the night before, but
a lot of,
they didn't make
exactly.
you. Yeah,
Everybody but the coach, you know?
yeah. They didn't make you, right?
They
That's
did not,
the
yeah.
moral of the story. No one makes you do anything. No one makes you make choices that you do. And that goes for everybody. That goes for anything, right?
Uh-huh.
I think the only thing that really limits people is just that mindset of like it's everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. No accountability. No self-accountability. So that was always my biggest issue. And then I stopped doing track and field my senior year. I got kicked off the team just because, like I said, partying and just being irresponsible. And I can once again blame nobody but myself for that, you know? So I got back home to Connecticut after graduating, and that's when like the journey actually started for me, I would say. because that's when I became who I call me now. Um, I started reflecting on so many things in life, and then it hit me. I was like, I never really gave a full effort and a push to maximize my potential. So I remember this. Wow, it was like August 25th, 2016. I was like, you know what? By this time, it didn't work out. I was like, this time, 2020, I'm going to the Olympics. That was my goal. So I was like, you know what? Instead of starting, like I said, next year, I'm starting today. It was like a Friday. I was like, I'm starting today. So I went home, just ran after work, normal. All right, cool. Before I would go hop into video games, completely put my video games away. Like I put it in the closet, completely like separate myself from it entirely. And that's when I became born. So that Monday morning, I used to work in a factory while I was doing my accounting internship as well, because my father, he worked at a manufacturing company as like a head accountant. So he got me a warehouse job at 6 in the morning. I'd wake up at like 4 in the morning and I would go run before work. Never thought, like I said, these things like I never thought I'd be able to do because I never did it before. Because I'm like, why would I wake up early, be tired and groggy? But after a while, it became just a part of me, like everything in life, you know? So I wake up every morning at 4, work out, go to work out during lunch, go home, sleep. Bro, I'm telling you, like at 2, I would get up 6 to 2, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I'll be driving home, sleep, bro. I'm telling you, sleep and swerving because I'm so tired. Get home, park my car, be in my driveway. I would sleep for like another like 2 minutes, take a deep breath, go change, run again. And it's just like, this was my life every single day. It came to the point where I became like, it looked like a machine. Like my body, I was so lean and just like long, slender muscles, you know? And I became somebody who just I would sprint. I would just do like crazy things, sadistic training. Like I started like following David Goggins and I started like listening to stories. And I was like, if I want to be better, I have to like literally just break myself mentally because I had no accountability. So many times I told myself, like I told you earlier, like this is the year I'm going to become the greatest I can be. And I would just play video games all summer. Like this is the first time I really proved to myself, like if I set my mind to do something, I'm going to do it. Like, and nobody's going to stop me from doing that. So like I started training so hard, running the fastest times I ever can run. I was running like in college, I would say I ran like a 49 best for a 400-meter dash. I was doing that in my training. And it's crazy looking back now because like I put so much into it, you know, where I put my all. Like I said, I'm gonna give it my all. I started going to bed at 8 o'clock. I would get like 10 hours of sleep, still being able to wake up at like 6 the next day in the morning. And I'd hit the road running, bang, 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 a nice 5 miles. Go to work when I now had my counter job, obviously because I graduated from college, got hired at a job in Portland, Connecticut. So I would go straight there, run at night again when I got home after 5, run for like about 3 hours. It's 8 o'clock at night. Then we'll go to sleep again. Same cycles over and over and over again. And it just became like my life. My life was how can I get better? So I'd be at work. I got a standing desk. I would have like ankle weights, and I would just hold my leg up in a flex position for my hip flexor muscle to strengthen it for like 5 minutes at a time. Just like have a typer on my computer. I'd be typing away, just holding it, put it down. The next leg. I'd go to the bathroom, do like 300 push-ups. I was just like, how can I make this a true story where I'm like, well, this is what I worked with and this is where I became. So I even wrote like in my phone, I have in my notes, it's like a commitment to myself where I wanted to do motivation speaking. And I was like, I'm going to use this journey that I have put myself through hell to talk about anybody. Like, if you want to do something, you could do it because like you kind of tell people right now, it's limitless. Like your life is limitless. It's like, if you're going to put the work in, it's going to produce something. Like there's no and if or buts. It's going to happen. So like, I started living my truth. Like I was going crazy, just doing so many things at work. And I'd go in my car, obviously I would sleep for 30 minutes sometimes because I was so tired from training, go back to work. Like I said, do some more things at my desk, whether that is like resistance bands. I would do a shitload of like just a little shuffles just at my desk just to build up my performance and build up my glute medius just because I know those are good for running. I would just try to build whatever muscles I could build that would help my running. So I even got the toe shoes. Yeah, I did so many things I just don't really think about because it's like 2 years since I stopped running really because I burned myself out. That's what I learned. You can burn yourself out if you do like too much. If you're all gas, no brakes, and you don't get the right coaching or stuff like that, like you can run into issues. Because I was so I'm gonna do this myself. I don't need to get an official track coach. No, I'm gonna find my own way to get there. Where if I got like a track coach who is good and reputable, and he just were to write me a script, I know right now, 100%, I'd be going to Olympics. But I still to this day am still like recovering from some of the things I did to my body. Just working. Oh my god, I went from running like 20 miles a week to doing like 70 some weeks, and hills every day, just sprinting up hills. Because I live at the top of like a quarter mile, which is a full lap. I live at the top. I just sprinted, top to bottom, just sprinted all out. And it's crazy, like I was able to do that just because like I trained my body, my mind just to be that strong. Yeah, like
Mentally, you just put yourself in this zone that no one could touch you in.
nobody.
Yeah, that's what's up. Now, are you still a big fan of David Goggins? Obviously,
Huge
guys.
fan. Have you read his book?
I haven't, dude.
I recommend it, yo. Can't
Yeah.
stop me now. Oh my god, yo.
I've listened to so many of his podcasts though,
Uh
and I've
huh.
listened to so much of what he has to offer. I mean, just some of the stuff that he did, man, like 100 miles at like what he was like 280, and
Yeah.
he had never ran more than like 20 miles in his life.
Yeah.
And then he one day with no training
Uh
goes on
huh.
a 100-mile race, and he's got nothing but saltine crackers and like a couple water bottles.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
multiplex, whatever that was, that drink, the
Yeah.
multiplex. Yeah.
I mean,
But broken feet and everything. And the thing that stuck to me most, he was like, at 90 miles on a 100-mile race, his body just like shut off. It was just like, I'm gonna do this. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna finish it. He said like his broken feet, they stopped hurting, his legs stopped hurting, and he went from doing like he said a 17-minute mile to like a 9-minute mile. A 17-minute to 9-minute mile at 90 miles in, just because his body was like, when you tell your body you're not gonna stop and you show it, you're not gonna stop no matter how much it yells. It works with you, not against you. So his body shut off, his mind shut off. It was like, we're gonna do this like one way or another because he took control of his mind. He willed his body and his mind to be like, I'm in control. I own you. You don't own me. You're in my body. You know what I mean? You're in my body. This is what's gonna happen. So it's one of the things like he's my biggest inspiration in that sense where like I really just like wanted to be not him, I want to be me, but with his mindset. So when I started getting hurt, right? That's another thing I forgot. I started biking like 20 miles every day for when I pulled my hamstring. I don't know if you remember that. I was
yeah,
doing
I remember.
I pulled my hamstring like at grade two. And that also is what introduced me to fasting. So
Okay.
so I started reading about obviously like how your body heals better when you're not eating food. So I did my first 3-day fast. I went from not fasting at all to doing like a 3-day water fast. I'll tell you, I had a grade two slash grade three type of hamstring strain. In 3 days, I was walking without like the leg sleeve. So that to me, I was like, yo, this is powerful. I didn't know if it was all mental because I was like, oh, this is gonna help me. This is gonna help me. Every day I was like, this is gonna help me. This is why I'm not gonna eat. I gotta be stronger. This is gonna help me. I told you on day three, I was walking normal. I was fine. Then I started incorporating the keto diet because I know it was low inflammatory.
Yeah.
That's also why I got into doing stuff like that. So I started doing keto diet for like 2 years and then just biking until my leg was fully formed. And then I started mixing my training with running and biking and just doing both back and forth essentially. Yeah. So I do like a 8-mile run on the treadmill, hop right onto the bike, and I would just bike for like 20 miles. And I was every day after work, just like a zombie. Like I was just so focused, like no one could tell me anything because I just was focusing on my breathing. And I would just have like people at the gym like you just like a drone, like a robot, because I would train my body just to be like emotionless to pain. Like I would feel the pain, but I would just would love it. Like I'd be there smiling, like run up hills. It was weird, like looking back now. Like I love like just pain and really pushing myself. So that's really what made me who I am today, where I'm very disciplined in like anything I do, as long as it is like a true passion of mine. Like if I truly love it and I know it's gonna help me, like I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like I'm all in.
Yeah.
Cold showers, everything. I'm all in.
So, yeah, I would say that's been the biggest thing for me is, why if I can do something that's gonna make me feel better and it's gonna make me be better,
Uh huh.
why would I not do it?
You said it. Why would you not? You
That
know?
yeah, that blows my mind when people. I mean, like just a simple example in and of itself, right? People all the time they complain about pain.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times I've tried to explain to people, hey, if that's bothering you, try this, do that. Probably like 3, 4 times a week, and you'll see an improvement. No, I don't, whatever. I'll just deal with it. Like, okay, so you're accepting the fact that you just want something to complain about
Yeah.
so that you simply can have something to talk about to somebody.
Yeah. To complain.
Yeah.
After you said you could tell people to say 3 times a week and they would fix it. You told them a solution and they
Yeah.
don't want to turn. You know what? Why would you turn your back
Very,
against?
very simple. Very,
Nobody wants to help themselves. That's it. It's just,
it's tough. I don't know.
it
Yeah.
is.
And I love how you also took the injury as a time to figure out something else, right? Like a
Uh-huh.
lot of people take an injury or take something negative happening to them as that's it. That's that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the end of it, or whatever. I'll just freaking yes, I'll go to like physical therapy, or I'll just whatever until I feel better, and then I'll try to go right back to what I was doing before. Whereas
Yeah.
you put yourself in a state of mind already where I'm going to do what's going to get me better, not
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do this, and this is the only thing that can get me better. You put yourself in the state of mind of I'm going to do what is going to get me better at that time, whatever it may be. So an injury calls for, okay, let me do some research on how I can recover better. And then all
Uh-huh.
of a sudden you got into fasting, you got into keto for anti-inflammatory properties. Like those things are what make the difference over, let's say 10, 15, 20 years from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in our 20s, and a lot of people want to be living their best life by the time they're 35, 40.
Yeah.
But realistically, they don't put themselves in that opportunity because their 20s are just very lackluster, walking through, what everyone else wants, walking through motions
Mm-hmm.
and not challenging themselves because growth just becomes so exponential at like a certain point. Like you simply talk about it, you went from not fasting at all to the point where like I'll do a 72-hour fast, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got
Yeah.
into a week. I remember when I saw you at Mark's, you were on a 5 day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 5 days. What's the longest you've done now? You said
The longest was probably the 5 day fast, but I did another 5 day fast a couple months ago.
okay.
So do you know Cole Robinson? Have you heard of that guy before?
No, 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 no.
He's like they call him the snake diet wizard. So like he helps people, I'm telling you, who are like 300 pounds. He just will fast them until like they lose a lot of weight. But it's not like there's a guy called the
You're
Fat
starving
Man, the
people.
Fat Fasted Man. He fasted for like 6 months, nothing but like electrolytes and just water, you know? He lost 100 plus pounds, but it's like that's unnecessary. The snake diet guy, he does like 72 hour fast, 3 day fast.
Okay.
He tells like the big, not big people, people who put themselves in the situation where they felt lost, essentially. Like you put on so much weight eventually where you can't help yourself, you know, you
Yeah.
can't move. And then people try to exploit you with these 500 pound life and all these other TV shows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
His
yeah.
thing is, if you're 500 pounds, he's like, don't eat any food. You have a limited amount of resources for years that you kind of tacked on. He's like, don't eat food for 3 days. Have what he calls snake juice, which is just potassium chloride, Himalayan pink salt, and just magnesium. That's it. The three electrolytes that you really just need so
Mhm.
you don't feel weak and just feel like crap, essentially. Yeah. So that's what he has them doing. He fasts them, and then they begin to like obviously lose weight over time. And there's people on his snake diet page, night and day difference. Night and day difference how they look after, like I say, a couple months because your body is so smart. It's not gonna go burn a muscle when you have 100 plus pounds of fat. It's gonna just torch through the fat, keep eating the fat, eating the fat, eating the fat, eating the fat, and then when you get too lean, that's when obviously, as you know, how the body works. It has to go from muscle to
Yeah.
protein sources and stuff like that. Yeah. So
So my only concern with that approach is the fact that once he starts to introduce food back into these people's lives, it becomes very hard for these people to not go back to old habits.
yeah.
That's the toughest part. Obviously, they've tested themselves discipline wise
Hmm.
for the last what maybe like 3 to 6 months that it took them to get back to a reasonable weight.
Yeah.
But when you start to introduce food back in, that's what worries me about people like actually being able to maintain that, and then losing their accountability partner in this, what's his name, Cole Robinson.
Yeah, Cole Robinson, yeah.
Now they might be 6 months into paying this guy to help.
It's free. It's crazy. He does all this for
Okay.
free. But
Well,
like he doesn't work with anybody unless he can scream at you, hey fatty. Or he said he's call you hey fatty, like like he's talk stern to you. It's not gonna be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't eat this. Like he's stern, like he's just real and just raw. Like this is what it is, this is what you gotta do. We're gonna do it or you can't work with me.
where's he
So
from? Where's he out of?
um he's a very southern accent, so somewhere in like I say Alabama if I have to think about it.
What? There's a
Yeah,
lot of overweight people in Alabama too.
a lot. But he
Yeah.
works with everybody. He has like over 100,000 transformations. Like he is big on YouTube, but he's demonetized because he's taking money from people in like the you know how they have big pharma, all those he like takes money. He's caring people with type 2 diabetes, type 1, which they say can't be cured. He does like so many just for free, just because like all he wants you to do is he has like a snake diet transformation Facebook group with 300,000 people. To get posted on this page for accountability, you have to, as he says, like to humiliate people so they understand if you want to do this, this is what you have to do. You have to pretty much get in your underwear, if you're a guy, underwear, and have your stomach hanging out, legs, everything exposed. Like you have to take a picture, essentially, like you're like standing, like you want to say shit like this,
Yeah, like
And
you're looking down kind of thing.
yeah, and you have to do like a side picture. So you get like the full area view, and then you have to post in the group. And there's so many people in there who just so supportive. So you might post something like, hey, I'm so and so. This is how I got here. Here's my little backstory. Like I diabetes, yada yada yada, stomach ulcers, and then people just support it. But oh, you got this. Coach's a good coach. Yada 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 yada. Just conversation in the group, and then he just gives you a routine. He does like 1-on-1 with you. He talks you through it, and then everybody gets results. But his main thing is, like I said, you have to take those pictures, and you have to fast for 72 hours off bat, just so you know, like you could do it. Because people are like, oh, I never fasted before. I can't do this. No, no, no. If you want to work with me, you want me to work with you for free, I need to do a 72-hour fast. I need to coach you through it, and then we'll get going on the process to how we can get you from here to there. But you need to know you can do it and you will not die. So 72 hours is mandatory, he says, for like him to coach you for free.
That's how I started this past year off. The first as soon as it hit 12 o'clock on New Year's, I started a fast, and because I took a little sip of champagne to celebrate, and then I was like, all right, we're done. And
Yeah,
I fasted, I think for 84. I think it was 84 hours.
yeah.
That was the longest I had done, and I think my goal this year is to catch up to you and hit
Let's do it.
5 days.
And you're
Uh,
doing it New Year's, right?
yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about doing
Yeah.
it again to start the year. The only thing I'm worried about is is like I'm gonna be teaching like group classes and working out with my clients. So like I don't know, what's your take on working out like throughout a 5 day fast?
Because you're really lean,
Yeah, like for
it's gonna be
me,
difficult.
yeah. For
Because
me,
like I
I
said,
mean, I'm not.
Mhm.
What's your body fat percentage, if you don't mind me asking?
Last time I did like the bioscan, it's like 7%. So I'm very, very like lean, but
Yeah,
like
you're way more, you're leaner than I am. So like on a 5 day, would you work out?
yeah, every day.
Yeah.
I work out every day, yeah. So when I did like my most recent 5-day fast, um, I usually prepare for my fast though. So if I do a long fast, I stop
Yeah.
working out, I start eating a lot more same calories. So I put on a little bit more fat.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm gonna put on from 7 to like 20. No, no, I go from like 7 to like 10, 11 to
Yeah.
like plan so I have resources.
That's where I live. I usually live in between 9 and 11.
Okay, yeah,
And
which is good.
that's like, and that's me like maintaining over the last like 3 4 years, where I've never really gotten to your point where I'm like very structured, because it's always been school, business, and work, and like so many different things that I was balancing. So for
Uh-huh.
me now, I just finished school, so now for me it's like I get 12, 15, maybe even 20 hours of my time back. Now I really, moving into 2020, like I really want to start to get more regimented. I want to start to really take my body and transform it the way I want to. Um,
Yeah.
So I mean, I've pretty much lived at an average of like 10% body fat, but like when have put in maybe 2-3 good months of like being strict, I've gotten up to my heaviest weight at 8% body fat. So like
Okay.
I've gotten to 7 or 8. So once again, like it's very doable. I can live there, but I've never been consistent with it. I'll get there and then like things take over. I get there and then things take over kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But I definitely I'm definitely down for a 5 day. And that needs to happen.
I'll do with you.
All right, I'm
I'll
in.
do cannabis. I'll do with you. Yeah.
How often have you've done them? What, two times,
Yeah,
three
two
times?
times, but 72s, I do 72s a lot. 48s, I do honestly every few weeks, 48s I do throughout the weekend. So I do like Sunday into Monday night.
Where
So I stop eating, like I say, Saturday night, skip all Sunday. Monday night comes, I dig in, I eat a lot. I
yeah,
don't over splurge. I still keep my 1 day type of calorie requirement. I don't go, oh, if I eat yesterday, let me double up. Like, no, that's stupid. Like I just kind of go with the flow and I just hop back on my normal daily schedule routine. That's all.
interesting. Definitely.
Yeah. So for you, like I said, I would plan for it where like I would try to put on a little bit more fat. Where after 5 days, if you do that, you probably like me. Like I said, I'm gonna go from around 7 to I'm gonna force myself to get to like at least 10, 11. And
Yeah.
by the time I'm done, I'll probably be at like 6% again, like 6, 7%.
What so you'd probably start a fast around what, like 205 in terms of
Yeah, around 205. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
what
That's
do
what I'm gonna aim for.
what do you usually see that you drop? How much weight?
Honestly, my body, like I said, is very it's weird. I probably could drop to 25 pounds, like in a
Yeah,
5 day fast.
your
Yeah,
body fluctuates very, very high,
very, very fast. Yeah,
very highs and lows.
exactly. Yeah.
My I typically like the most I've ever weighed was 175.
Hmm.
Um and the I would say that my body like naturally likes to just continuously go back. Like whenever I drop weight, it always goes back to like 162. That's like,
Yeah.
and it's like I've never really trained to put on muscle, so like it's understandable. But I don't know, my body seems to love that weight. Like it loves to stay between 160 and 165. Doesn't matter if I fast for 3 days, or it doesn't matter if I like, just eat a little bit less for a week. Like it just always drops back to that exact moment. Like it doesn't matter
So
if I do
that's
it.
like your body set point, right?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
It feels like it's set point. Like it's always just resetting right back to
Hmm.
that spot. But I would say I'd like to walk around naturally more towards like 172 and
Yeah.
be able to hit 180 or go down to 165 and live in that 15-pound range as opposed
Uh
to
huh.
160 to 175 or whatever.
Yeah. And you can't do it like you say. You just have to plan accordingly. Essentially, just
Yeah.
make it
Now
work.
it's just a matter of like I said, taking more time throughout my days, throughout my, you know, my schedule in general to just plan ahead and get more in tune with what I want to transform on my end. But I'm looking forward to a 5 day fast for sure with you, and
Yeah,
just
for real. Yeah.
paying attention more to some of the stuff you're doing, and probably utilizing a lot of the going back to what you were saying before with like a dumbbell row followed by a push up, or a bent over row followed by, a dumbbell row followed by a pull up,
Hmm.
or seated rows versus chin ups and things like that. I'll probably get back into that flow. That's definitely it works for me very well when I was doing that. I was
Yeah. Have you tried dry fasting before?
dry fasting. No, I haven't.
Yeah. So I did like a 36-hour dry fast, like no water or food, and like that one to me is easier than doing a water fast,
Really.
which is crazy. It's crazy. Like you don't feel hungry after 12 hours, and you have. I'm trying to tell people because it sounds crazy because obviously people say you always have to drink water.
Yeah.
I've had the most energy I've ever had on a dry fast. I didn't sleep 1 hour. That night I didn't sleep 1 hour because I had so much energy. Just like, and my body is hot. Like my body is heating up. It's just like you're just torching through body fat
Yeah,
for
you're
like water
like
molecules.
incinerator. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's water molecules in fat. So like it goes crazy on bad cells. It kills everything that's not supposed to be there.
Autophagy wise, it's definitely
Yeah,
the most, yeah, it's the
out
cleanest
of
one.
this world.
And it's funny that because like there's a ton of toxins in water, but like even
Hmm.
if you filter it, there's still stuff in there. Um,
Yeah,
and I don't, I just some people just don't understand that kind of stuff. But I that was another thing I had jotted down for the new year was like I want to make a dry fast happen because I've heard that it's way more superior than a water fast.
night and day. They say a one. I think it's 24 hours of like let's say dry fasting is equivalent to like 3 days of water fasting, and like the benefits of it.
Damn.
You
And what
feel it. That's the thing.
what I know there's a couple of religions that are big on dry fasting as opposed to just regular fasting. Are you familiar with those?
Like Ramadan, I know they do
Yeah.
it for Ramadan, yeah, and stuff like that. Muslims. That's not really what got me into it, but like yeah, they do it like sun up to sundown. I believe that's when they
Yeah.
begin like that dry fast all day. So that's
That's
kind of what made me realize if they can do it, I can do it.
and you know it's
Situation,
funny
yeah.
you talk to people about fasting and most Americans will look at you like, "What?
Uh-huh.
Crazy." But if you talk to international people about fasting or people that come from different cultures,
Yeah.
there it's so there's
It's the
so
norm.
much, yeah, yeah, they're so much more open to that kind of stuff. They're just there's something about the United States and the traditional immigrants that like people think of, mostly like European immigrants. They're just, I don't know, it seems so narrow-minded to me about like just the way of life and how everything from a health standpoint just seems so like, what's the word I'm looking for? They almost look at it like everyone's a tree hugger if you care about health kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? It's
You're
crazy.
weird.
Yeah, yeah, it's
You
just
want to
weird. Like
care about your health, you're weird. That's what they see
yeah,
you as.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like you're not a like, especially from our end of the spectrum, like you're not a man type of bull crap. But
Yeah.
the the ability for them to control their mind and body is completely not even present, and they think that that's being a bigger man, like just being
Yeah.
outraged and feeling the need to be violent all the time, and like
Hmm.
I don't know, all that stuff plays in. So like once you get into this gratefulness, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get better, and I'm going to help others do the same exact thing. Once you get into that trifecta, there's just this energy, this like it's boundless, right? It just
Yeah.
keeps
It's like an
going.
aura. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it gets pushed onto other people.
Yep, 110%. 110%. What do you got going on for the rest of the weekend? Anything crazy? Any what are you about to eat actually? Let's hit that real quick.
So tonight I'm doing Chinese food tonight though. So I'm gonna do like I'm gonna make my own protein shake, like I said, to make sure I get all my protein nutrition for the day. And then I'm gonna splurge on some Chinese food. Now I'm gonna do like a nice 36 to 48 hour fast until Monday. And then yeah, just keep my schedule going after that, just like normal roll with the flow. So I've been planning this all day,
Yeah.
thinking about it, yeah. So I love food. I love food. That's the key to my
Um,
heart, food.
Yo, that's the biggest thing, bro. And like I tell people that all the time. I'm like, yo, food is like my escape. I love food, man. I
You
don't know.
have to. It's so good.
There's
Oh my
just
God.
something about, yeah.
Like
I
literally
don't mean to be
little kids just talking about food. You know, it's just like food is just
you start
amazing.
salivating and shit.
You do. I lick my lips like 3 times just now since that food. And I'm like, damn, I can't wait to eat that chicken. I already have the taste visualized and the smell. Everything is just,
The
it's on
good
my
news
mouth
is
already.
the good news is you got like an hour until you break it. So you're
Literally.
yeah, you're good. Um, is there anything else that you want to hit on before we separate and go our separate ways here?
Yeah, not really too much more that I guess you could say we could discuss. Really just I'm very thankful for you having me on your platform.
Yeah.
Like I said, even just having this conversation with somebody like you who have actually helped me a lot in the past, where anytime I have an issue, I notice like I just would take a picture. Let's say for instance, like remember once I hurt my tendon of my shoulder, which you said was my bicep when I was lifting weights once
Yeah.
over working it essentially. I sent the picture thinking I tore my rotator cuff because I wasn't knowledgeable on it. You're like, no, no, just your bicep tendon, like stretch it. Let me know how it feels. I took your advice, stretched it, and I was like, well, this is amazing. So for anybody out there who might just need to ask for help, but you're scared to ask for help. Like, don't be scared. Like, don't let your ego stop you from essentially like learning something different and new. So if you really want to like, this for my followers, if you really want to learn something about like anatomy in the body, like the man right here I'm talking to is the man to go to just because you, like I say, you are somebody who's so intelligent with just your approach and how you take knowledge in, and you spread it back out. That's the thing I love. Like you're always you're more give than take, That's what I noticed because you give so much like free knowledge all the time. So I appreciate you even sharing your time with me on this platform that you have because things you're doing is wonderful and it's just gonna help so many people in the world. So just keep being great. That's all I really can say left is just I appreciate it. That's all. I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, bro. I'm glad I can help, and I'm glad you pointed out like it's just that's my goal, literally just to help people. And I think long term, and it should have been for the longest time. Learning about our body is the one thing that we should be drilled in school to learn more about than anything else. And in the long run, that's part of my goal. Part of my journey is going to be utilizing the the expansion of the healthcare system to allow us to actually teach each other through the educational system why we should be taking our health more seriously, and not just it shouldn't even be serious. It should just be innate, right? It should just be
Innate.
second nature. It should just be what we are, what we do, and it is. It's part of us, but we've put so many bad habits and societal norms on top of it, and it's suppressed it that I think we just need to dust those things off. And if the theory behind the limitless concept is literally, if I can help you, then you can go help somebody else, and I may
Mm-hmm.
not be able to be infinite in everything I do throughout my life, but if I push the limits and I push a step ahead, someone can utilize that and continue to do more than I could, right? Just like whoever created the first computer allowed the person to create the phone, right? It's all quarterbacking. It's all just going off of one another. So now, where can everybody find you? Where can everyone dive into your world? Because you still provide a lot of awesome stuff for me, like the way that you are just so consistent with everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that it gets me in tune. Sometimes I'm like, oh geez, all right, come on, let's go, we got to do it.
Yeah.
So I know if it's helping me, I know it's going to help a lot more people out
Mm-hmm.
there. Where can everybody find you and get into that world?
Yeah, so first I appreciate you saying that as well. And Panther Fit Season, Panther as you spell Panther, Fit FIT Season SZN. You can find me on Instagram. And that's pretty much it. Like I have a personal page, but I do more story posts. But I'm actually gonna get back into more consistent posting with my actual fitness page. I stopped for a while because the person I was going to the gym with, I started going solo again just because like the time and just the schedule of I guess I go during work. But I'm getting like I guess you could say what's the thing called like where it's like a trolley, you can just set up the camera and you don't need somebody to record because
Tripod.
like a tripod, yeah. So I ordered one. So once I get that, I can start, like I said, getting more footage and then just talking more about the fasting because I don't talk about it enough. But I've been exposing it a lot more recently, just on my story, like I said, posting
Yeah.
actually the foods and stuff, and people have been coming to me asking why I do certain things. So I've been just giving more people the inside scoop as to why I do it, how it could help you, and I'm gonna start, like I said, incorporating that type of stuff into my fitness page. And even like the foods I eat, like the ice creams and all the other desserts where people say if you eat it, you're gonna get fat. No, no, no. If you eat too much of it, you can get fat. But like I said, Panther Fit Season, that's where I'm gonna post everything and just and enlighten you guys on kind of how I do certain things and how you could do it too. Because we all are initially the same. We're all humans, you know. With
Yeah,
a little bit of fine tuning, you're different than I'm different, but like we all can get the same results.
yeah.
All
I
of us.
I totally agree. I'm a big component of epigenetics and the fact that like if a banana tree is 97% the same DNA as a human, then like me and you, we're really not that different.
At all. No, I mean at all, literally. So
So yo, everybody go check it out. Panther Fit season. Everything from fasting to cold showers and even semen retention. Like there's a lot of expansion to be learned, a lot of things to take into account, and a lot of small nuances that you can put to the test, especially with 2020 coming. Um, you know, I think it's time to continue to grow, not just individually but together. So I think Panther's a good one to definitely tune into and continue to learn from because he's more forward thinking than most people out there. So I appreciate your time today, bro.
most definitely.
Yeah. We'll we gotta talk a little bit more about how we're gonna get this 5-day fast done, and then
100%.
yeah.
I want to plan it out, so I'll tell you the apps to use and stuff like that to make it easier. So
All right, cool.
visualize that stuff. Yeah.
I'm down. In the meantime, thank you guys for listening, and everyone go check out Panther and be limitless. Peace out.
Peace.
Just want to say thank you guys. All the help, all the love, all the support is going a long way. A lot of big opportunities are coming my way as a result of you guys sharing and talking so highly about the content that we're putting out there on this platform. So thank you. Please continue to do that. Reviews, sharing, comments, likes, all of it helps. Thank you guys once again. Once again, we are partnering with the best of the best in these brands and services on all of the topics and industries that we are covering here on the podcast. If you guys have any insight or amazing products and services or people that you want to open up my platform to, please let me know and check out the following. You won't be disappointed. Yo, you guys got to head over to the Limitless Theory apparel store. There are tons of new things on there. Super, super good stuff. If you didn't get a chance to take advantage of some of the holiday and New Year's specials, you can still enter code LT10 at checkout for 10% off for listening in. Once again, the apparel store helps make this podcast happen every week. Next, y'all, we have Energy Bits, as discussed on last week's episode with Catherine Archton, the founder and CEO of Energy Bits. Make sure to head over to energybits.com and use code LimitlessTheory at checkout for 20% off. If you also want to grab some single packets to make sure that they fit your taste buds and that you are going to be using them, that you're a fan, which I'd be very, very surprised if you weren't, you can head over to Amazon and buy single packets for about $4, $8, whatever you want to do there. And if you haven't, go check out that podcast from last week. So many good tidbits of information regarding algae and regarding how that can change the world, your health, and everything under the sun. So, once again, energybits.com, use code LimitlessTheory for 20% off on all purchases at energybits.com. Lastly, our powerhouse partner store of today's episode is Rastelli's Meat Market. Panther is a huge fan of his ribeyes and his high quality meats, so I decided to make sure that we highlighted this awesome powerhouse partner store that will give you 9% cash back and free shipping on all standard orders. Rastelli's Meat Market. Rastelli's Meat Market has been bringing you the best of the best since 1975. Opened up a meat stop in New Jersey. Loved bringing high quality foods there. And basically, the moral of the story is they are providing their customers with products that are best in class, super high quality, non GMO, organic. All of these things can be found on Rastelli's Meat Market. Everything from antibiotic free filet mignon steaks to Faroe Island salmon packs, and much, much more. They do a lot of awesome mixed boxes that they'll send to you. They have a sampler box of seafood, a sampler box of pork, chicken, beef, all of these things. So make sure to check out Ristelli's Meat Market. And if you are a UFO, you will get 22% commissions back on all your purchases at Ristelli's. Once again, Ristelli's Meat Market, you will be able to save a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of stress knowing that you are getting the best of the best in class. You can get 9% cash back if you are a customer with shop.com/limitless theory, and you can also earn 22% IBV if you are a UFO.